Hello guys, this is your Chapter 4 test, and we've got a lot to go through here, so we'll get right after it. In number 1, you're going to classify this triangle by its angles. Now if you're classifying by angles, you're going to either say it's acute, right, or obtuse. Okay, so remember your words, or the definitions. If it's acute, it means all three angles. If it's right, obviously there's a right angle in it. And if it's obtuse, there's just at least one obtuse angle in the triangle. Okay, that's number 1. Now number 2, we're going to classify it by its sides. So you're looking at the different sides here. And if you're going to classify it by its sides, you're going to say it's a equilateral, isosceles, or scalene triangle. Okay. Looking down at number 3, let's zoom in a little bit. We need to find the value of x. One thing you need to keep in mind is notice that if all three angles are the same, so would all three sides also be the same. And to set this up, you're just going to want to set this side equal to this side and solve for x. In number 4, again we're solving for x. You're going to set it up just like you did in number 3. Alright, these base angles are the same, which means their opposite sides are also the same, which means those two sides are equal to one another. So just set them up equal, solve for x. Let's cruise on down here to number 5. Again, you're finding the value of x, but now they give you that these sides, all three sides are the same, which means all three angles would also be the same. So really, this other angle over here is going to be 3x. This angle is going to be 3x. Now remember, if you add them all together, they're going to equal how many degrees? Okay, I think they're going to equal 180. So set up your equation. Kind of got you started there. Solve for x. In number 6, we want to find a distance between these 2 points. Now, if this were x1 and y1, this is x2 and y2. To find your distance equals the square root x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1, and square that. Remember your order of operations. PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, add, subtract, then in the end you'll take the square root. In number 7, it's just like number 6. Alright, you got to use the same formula that I gave you before. Looking at number 8, you need to classify if it's acute, right, or obtuse. So you want to plug these three sides, the 3, 3, and 3, into a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And remember, if it is greater on the left-hand side with the a and b, it is acute. If it's equal, it's right, and if it's obtuse, it's less than. Okay guys, in number 9, it's the same thing as number 8. Again, you're going to use your Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, your longest side is always going to be c. Alright, so if this side over here together is more, it's greater, it would be acute. If it's equal, it's right. If it's less than the c squared, it would be obtuse. Number 10. We're going to classify by its angles and its sides. So look at the angles. Alright, big hint right here. And then look at the three sides. And then you're going to say it's either equilateral and acute. Alright, it's kind of combining both at number 1 and number 2. Alright, so look at number 1 and number 2, the hints I gave you. You're going to want to label it here, but you should have 2 words for number 10. Number 11, the same exact thing. Alright, you're going to say it's either equilateral, isosceles, or scalene, and it's either acute, right, or obtuse. Looking at the sides and looking at the angles. In number 12, you want to find the value of x. Okay, so we give you all the angles. This is 2x plus 10, c is 2x minus 2, and a is 72. Now remember, all three added together are going to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so set up your equation and solve for x. Okay, moving on, looking at number 13. Again, find the value of x. Again, you're going to add up all three angles. Okay, you got a 90 here, right? Remember, everything's going to be equal to 180 and solve for x. In number 14, same concept, find the value of x. If these base angles here are the same, then that means their opposite sides are also going to be equal. So set them up equal to each other and find the value of x. Same thing in 15. If the angles are all equal, the sides are all equal. Set them up equal to each other. And in 16, again, it's the same thing. You got three sides that are equal, so three angles would be equal. Alright, so if this angle here is 2x plus 10, what would that angle, or excuse me, this angle here would have to be? Or this one, really. Just set two of them up equal to each other, solve for x. Okay, here number 17, Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now remember, always look across from the 90-degree angle. That's always going to be your c. Here you need to find b. So plug them in and solve and find the length of b. 17. 18, same concept. A squared b squared equals c squared. Okay. Don't let this throw you off. It's just a number. Okay. But put it in as radical 149 squared for your c. 19, same thing. Alright, hopefully you wrote that a squared plus b squared equals c squared at the top of your paper. Find c in this one. In number 20, we want to find the distance again. Let me give you this formula again. It was on the first page. We're going to say x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1. And we're going to square it. And again, this would be x1, y1, x2, and y2 right there. Scroll down to 21. Exact same thing. Use the same formula as you did in number 20. In number 22, they want to know if these are the three lengths of a triangle. Can they be a triangle? Okay. Alright, so you got to plug them into the Pythagorean theorem again. Can it be a triangle? So what you want to do is the two smallest sides, actually, excuse me, I guess we don't have to have, you don't have to have this. But the rule is that any two sides should be greater. So basically just take the two shortest sides, add them together. If they're more than this side, then it's a triangle. If not, then it's not a triangle. That's number 22. Same way in 23, take your two shortest sides, add them together. If they're bigger, then it's a triangle. And in 24, we want to find the value of x here. Okay, again, you got three angles here, x, 2x plus 3, and 3x minus 15. These all together equal 180 degrees. So combine like terms, okay, do the algebra, find the value of x. Okay, and number 25, if you wanted to find the value of x in here, there's a couple different ways you could do it, but since all three sides are the same and equal, just set two of them up equal to each other and solve for x. I'd maybe set these two up equal to each other and solve for x if it were me, but that's just me. Okay, 26, we want to find the value of x again. Alright, now we're dealing with these exterior angles here. In order to get this angle out here, you just add those two together. So in this case, I would probably set this up to say something like 12x is equal to 78 plus 54. Now you finish it on from there. In number 27, again we're finding the distance. So I'll give it to you again since it was on the last page. y2 minus y1 squared. That's for 27 and for 28 as well if you look over there, okay? Just use that same equation here, okay? Looking at 29, again we're classifying as acute, right, or obtuse, okay? So you got to determine if it's acute, right, or obtuse. So you're going to plug them into the Pythagorean theorem. And remember, if the AB side is greater, it's going to be acute. If it's equal, it's going to be right. And if it's less than, it's going to be obtuse. Okay? 30, wanting to know if these can be the sides of a triangle. Like I was talking about before, just add these two small sides together, but they got to be bigger than the third side in order to be a triangle. You just write yes or no. 31, can the side lengths again form a triangle? Take the two shortest ones and add them together. And the last question, find all the missing angle measures. Okay. No big deal here. Alright. Zoom in on the picture a little bit. So you need to find for angle 3, angle 1, and angle 2. Okay. Well, here's a hint. If this is 90 degrees here, what do you suppose 1's going to have to be? Alright. And then also remember your rules. Every triangle equals 180 degrees. So if you got two of them, if you got two angles, just subtract to figure out what the third one is, okay? Use a little common sense. And that's the end of your test. So make sure your name's on your paper. Take your time. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.